Yo, it's your boy Bringer. Welcome back to another tier list. And today we finally got the Build 41 occupation tier list coming out for you. Hey, all the other videos have been doing great. I really appreciate the love and support. And I even appreciate the occasional hate comment I get. All for the algorithm, my brother, all for the algorithm. So keep them coming. Now, I'm going to be focusing a lot less on the speedrunning this time because honestly, there's not much to say. Most of these occupations have one speedrun they're used for, and that's it. So we're going to be really focusing a lot on multiplayer today, actually. So because I have done a lot of multiplayer, I just don't always talk about it as much. Let's get in there. And let's get this going. So we're going to be doing this a little bit differently than last time because I have a bit of a nicer setup this time. You know, usually I would just put an image of the trait on screen, but I thought today it might actually be really nice if we can just show it off right here. And then we can actually take a look directly at all of the occupations. So let's start with unemployed. Unemployed, it's not a very good trait or occupation. It's not a very good occupation, I'll be really honest with you. It only gives you 8 trait points. And if you actually think about it, it's not worth that much. Like if we take a look at, say, fire officer, that gives us +1 sprinting, right? Go here. What is runner? Runner's worth 4 points. So half of your free trait points, you could just take axe fire officer, and that's a neutral trait. That's a neutral occupation, right? Now let's go here, go to 1 axe. Okay, what does 1 axe cost us? 3 points, right? So 7 of our 8 free trait points, fire officer is giving us, plus it's giving us 1 fitness and 1 strength, which is obviously really good. I feel like unemployed just doesn't give you enough traits points for what it's worth. Now, maybe there are some niche circumstances where unemployed is actually the best option, but I do not know of any. And in multiplayer, I think it's definitely a poor choice because I think a lot of the other occupations offer much more useful things, especially since multiplayer just tend to be a bit more diverse. I'm not really going to talk much about this. I think it's very mediocre. So I'm guessing this is unemployed. I'm thinking we have to put this in like B tier, right? It's basically not terrible, but it's not good either. So I feel like this should be our baseline. We kind of compare everything to unemployed, and I think that should be great. I think that's going to be fantastic. And I think we're going to move on to fire officer here. And I think that's going to be our best option. So yeah, we're going to put unemployed in B tier. We're going to leave it there. We're going to compare everything against it. Now, fire officer, I love fire officer. You guys know this. I absolutely adore having this kind of stuff in Zomboid, right? I did forget to turn the face cam on for the first part. Just let it go. I do adore having high fitness and high strength and sprinting and all of that. I think it's a really good occupation. It's actually maybe even better than lumberjack in some cases because lumberjack is kind of missing that extra fitness, and you actually can get exhausted with axes pretty quickly. Probably gonna have to say something like fire officers, probably like S tier. I'm gonna say S tier, y'all. I mean, I know people are gonna be like, this guy, he just is always glazing axes, but it's just how it is, man. Axes are great. Axes are fantastic. Plus you have fitness and strength. That means you can always just switch to different weapons when you want to, right? Which is exactly what we are going to be doing all the time in this game. We're going to move on from that. I also like it because Rosewood, you get a fire station spawn really like very often, and that's super nice because it's just a lot of early game equipment. And in multiplayer, obviously axes are great because you can make stone axes and have a fantastic renewable weapon source. Police officer. I don't like police officer. I really don't. Yes, I know the 3 aiming is great, the nimble's great, the reloading is great. The problem with police officer is I just feel like veteran's always a better choice. It's also -4 points. When I go to veteran, it's -8 though. Now you're like, okay, that's a lot. But I just value desensitized so much. We're going to talk about it later. But I will say this. In a multiplayer, police officer is significantly better. Because remember, panic in multiplayer is reduced based on the server's life, not your character's life. So if a server's been running for 3 or 4 months, that panic is going very far down very quickly, right? And you will find that things like this are not nearly as useful. So I'm not going to put this in S tier because I really don't think it's worth it for multiplayer. I'm probably going to put it in like A tier because it's definitely not a bad trade, right? No one is going to be like, oh yeah, police officer's terrible. Park ranger, I kind of like park ranger. I'm not gonna be honest. I kind of mess with park ranger. Especially in multiplayer, I adore foraging as a way to get extra food and extra resources, especially in build 41 when foraging is so strong. But then the +2 trapping, it's like, okay, trapping's nice. An axe, I'm an axe guy. I love axes. And then you get +1 carpentry. It's only -4 points. I feel like you're just getting a lot for very few points. Like we already know +1 axe is worth 3, right? What's carpentry worth? I actually need to double check this. I think Handy has it, right? Yeah, Handy has it. Oh, there it is, Handy. +1 carpentry. So you can argue carpentry is worth 4 points, right? Not bad. Really not bad. And then you get the foraging. It's like, I don't know, former scout has 1 foraging, so you can argue it's worth 3 points. You're seeing that you get a lot of value out of park ranger. You get a lot of value. You have fighting and you have resource gathering. I don't know. I really like it. I really like it, y'all. I don't know. Can we put this in the same tier as like police officer though, right? Like it feels bad. I actually feel like I'm gonna move unemployed down the C tier. I just think it's too bad. It's just so bad. Oh, that's right. That's security guard. We would need, where is that at? Here it is. The icons are so hard sometimes, y'all. They're so hard. I want to say it's like this. So like this is like your best combat, even some good utility with the fitness and strength. You have your best shooter, and then you have your best like survival expert. Construction worker is a weird one. I don't like it. I feel like it's a worst version of carpenter in every way, right? +1 carpentry, +3 short blend, +3 carpentry, +1 short blend. Build 42, of course, I'd have a different opinion. Build 41, I just simply do not value carpentry. I just don't value it as an ability. I don't value it as a skill. Like, I don't value any part of it, right? So I don't really like construction worker. I don't think short blend is worth it. I don't think it's that good. And I would much rather, if I'm gonna have -2 or +2, right? Think about that. Come on, carpenter is giving you +3 carpentry. Combine that with some VHS, and you have level 10 carpentry like that. And level 10 carpentry is very powerful. Stairs, water collectors, everything you need, right? Plumbing sinks and stuff. It's really good. So construction worker, I'm gonna probably go pretty much. I think you should never take it. I think there's like a zero situations in which this is the correct trait to take. If you can think of one for that besides just liking short blunt, then I would be willing to change my opinion, but I'm not really seeing anything, y'all. I'm really not seeing anything for this. I'm gonna put this in F tier. I think this is like a negative like occupation to take. Security guard is very similar to that for me as well. It really do not like security guard very much. Sprinting is cool, yes, especially against sprinters, but if you're going to take sprinters, why not just take fitness instructor, right? Fitness instructor is really good. It's -4 more points, but you get a lot of value from it. I do not value night owl whatsoever. I do, like, mostly because like the sleep events are automatically off by in apocalypse mode, right? So you actually don't get sleep events that often, especially even like multiplayer don't even have sleep, right? So in multiplayer, security guard becomes even less useful. So I'm gonna have to put security guard probably even below. I'm gonna put it above construction worker because at least night owl does have some benefits, right? It's obviously useful for your character not to get sleepy, right? You get sleepy, you're gonna die, right? You're gonna just get eaten alive by zombies. And light-footed and sprinting, I mean, those are just positive traits all along, and it's only -2. So it evens out. Like, you're getting way more value with this, right? So I would never feel comfortable putting this in like F tier. I'm gonna put it in C tier with unemployed. I think they're about equivalent. But it's actually better than unemployed though, because at least you do get night out with it, right? You do get a free trait with it, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Carpenter. Now this is one I'm gonna have to stop for a second. We haven't really talked about the speedruns because, like I said, there's not really a specific one. Technically, Park Ranger is actually the first one, and that's only used for foraging speedruns. This is the first one that I think is really cool because carpentry speedruns have actually been a thing in Project Zomboid for way before I started playing the game. This was actually one of the first speedruns ever did. Now, they measured their speedruns in in-game time, though, in-game days, right? So speeding up time wasn't very useful. And they didn't use VHS. They might not even had VHS. This was years ago. So I think carpentry has a really special place in the community, too. It's how we barricade. It's how we get water. I feel like carpentry is like the most well-known skill in Zomboid, right? It's one of the easiest to understand, one of the easiest to grind. So I don't know. For this, it's like it has a special place in my heart, right? There's also carpentry is probably my favorite Project Zomboid speedrun. It was the first one I got like the world record, and I was really good at. So this has a soft spot in my heart. Also, I just think 3 carpentry is really good. For +2 points, you mean you're giving me trait points for taking carpentry? Fucking A. I'm loving this shit. I'm loving that. I'm going straight B tier on that carpentry, 100%. Top of B tier, bottom of B tier. Foraging is just more useful, right? And now we're gonna get into, in the past, I would have called this new bait. I think even 6 months ago, I would have had a really negative opinion on Burglar. It actually is used in 3 speedruns. Rosewood of Ecstasy of Gold, which obviously you need a car for. It's used in light-footed and sneaking speedruns, which those are actually some pretty, really, if you're really interested in how Zomboid works under the hood, if you're really interested in the mechanics of Zomboid, then all 3 of those speedruns are actually really fascinating to learn about. Maybe I'll make a video about them one day. They're very interesting to do. But I don't have the world records in either of any of those 3, right? So I don't know all the details as well as maybe Wood or someone, right? So Burglar, why it's called noob bait? It's because honestly, getting hot wiring is pretty easy. You just get 2 mechanics and 1 electrical. It's really not that hard. Getting 1 electrical is much easier than people think because a lot of people actually do not know the best way to level electrical. There are tricks to level electrical. My personal philosophy with electrical is actually, I don't really focus on like the appliances, TVs, watches, none of that. No, I go to restaurants and there's a certain type of industrial oven and the hood of that oven, and you can disassemble those for absolutely bonkers XP. Plus all the payphones and computers, like the PlayStation can have some computers too and stuff, right? That is like the big XP. That's where you want to go. Forget like all this like random little stuff. Also, a weird thing that gives an insane amount of XP: these soda machines in restaurants and the hand dryers. All the hand dryers in the bathroom count as electrical. I have no idea why. I mean, I guess they're electric hand dryers, right? But they actually give like insanely good XP. Like you can get 1 electrical in easily like 8 hours in game, probably, if you're playing efficiently. It's very simple. So that is why I called it noob bait, because you can get hot wiring really easily. But I've been changing my opinion lately, where I feel like that can be really frustrating for new players that are getting new into Zomboid, right? Now, having to wait so long, having to learn 2 different skills to get a car, it's kind of annoying, actually. So lately in multiplayer, I've been really enjoying having Burglar. Like, I've really been liking Burglar in multiplayer because I just don't like dealing with the bullshit of grinding out the electrical and the mechanics, right? Now, if you're playing with many people, only one person needs Burglar, right? And then you can do all the stuff you want to do. But I don't know, solo, man, jumping on like some Build 42 multiplayer servers, I've been going Burglar and I've been having a great time, man. I've been really vibing with Burglar. I'm probably going to throw it up in A tier. I just also think like the light-footed, the nimble, the sneaking, I like all of that. I love nimble. Nimble is an incredibly undervalued skill. Nimble is what's going to let you easily fight most sets. Obviously, it's not better than police officer, but it's good. I think Burglar's actually been a little bit too much. I don't know. People have not been putting respect on Burglar's name these days, in my opinion. Chef. Chef is really self-explanatory. It is in the cooking speedrun. And it is in the cake percent speedrun, where you try to make a cake as fast as possible, which is like, I think the world record's like 1 minute and 5 seconds or 1 minute 10 seconds. It's really good. And I have the cooking world record because I max cooking in what, like 5 minutes in a second? Not bad, right? -4 for +3 cooking. I don't know, man. I don't value cooking. I don't think cooking's cooking's not that good. Like, if you take a level 1 cook, right, and a level 10 cook, and you make the same food, you're getting a very similar value out, because this leveling up cooking just, it doesn't really make you cook. It makes you cook better food, right? But it doesn't make you cook, like, even if you have low cooking, you don't cook bad food, right? You do waste a little material, sure. And maybe at level 8, you can cook, or I think it's 8, right? You can cook with rotting food, but you get like 10% of the calories. Like, it's not even worth it. I mean, think about it. If you have the time to train level 10 cooking, you have the time to go fishing and farming and foraging, right? You know for a fact you'll get way more food with high foraging or even fishing than you would with high cooking. So I really dislike chef. The only time you should take chef is if you're role playing in multiplayer or single player. This is an occupation you take for fun. It's not one you take if you really seriously are trying to play the game well. If you really care about your performance, you do not take cooking ever. Simple as that. I'm gonna put this down in an F tier. It's never been good. It's just bad. It's way better than construction worker, though, because construction worker is actually like trolling yourself. You might as well just be a carpenter, right? You're actually trolling yourself with construction worker, like 100%. Repairman. Now, I like repairman a little bit. I don't think it's great, but 2 short blunt, or 1 short blunt, 2 maintenance, it's a very interesting, and 1 carpentry, and only -4. But again, every time I look at this, I say, okay, 1 short blunt, 1 carpentry. Wait, carpenter gives me 3 and 1 for +2. So you're really asking yourself, are 6 points worth 2 maintenance? 6 points ain't worth 2 maintenance, y'all. 6 points ain't worth 2 maintenance. Let's be honest here. Let's be really honest with ourselves here. We know it ain't. So like, that's kind of the problem, right? Like, 1 maintenance is worth actually 4 points. So we know it's not. We can just do the math right now. So that's another one of those ones where like, I don't want to hate this, but it just feels like you're trolling yourself if you take repairman. It just feels like a troll. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in F tier. Some of these I just think are actually just trolling yourself, and I don't think any reasonable person should like take them, because there is no like situation in which they are actually valuable. Maybe in Build 42 there's a difference with the maintenance, the changes to maintenance, right? But not in Build 41. No way. Okay, farmer. Obviously this is using the farming speedrun. Who would have guessed? Actually, I had that world record too. Yeah, I got a lot of the world records. I'm that guy. You know, I'm that guy. You know why you come to me. You know why you come to a Bringer video. I'm that guy. Now, farming is one of the most worthless skills in the entire game to level up. Yes, higher level farming makes you get more food, but we all already know, once you harvest a single plot of land, you get an obscene amount of food. Go plant 10 tiles of a farm, you have more food than you can ever store. What's the point in having extra food if it's just going to rot? What's the point in it? Like, you already have more than you need. And if you do cycles of farming, like you plant every 3 days, every other day you're gonna have food coming in, right? Or every 2 days you're gonna have food coming in. You have an infinite amount of cabbage. You're gonna be sick of how much cabbage you have. So farmer for me is completely worthless. But I will say multiplayer, it can have values because food can be more important and growing is slower. Because obviously you don't have speeding up time, right? You don't have sleeping. So I actually value farmer a little bit more in multiplayer, especially with mods and stuff that change farming and change how much food spawns, and because food is actually more competitive in multiplayer. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of C tier, which I accidentally typed in at 5. I'm gonna put it in the bottom of C tier because it does actually have a value and it does benefit your character. It's not just the trolling, and it's +2 points, right? So it does give you 2 trait points. That's not bad. Fisherman, I value fisherman. Basically, look at this. Fisherman is -2. It's basically saying, is 1 foraging worth 2 points? I think so. So right here, where was that one? We had former scout. It says foraging is worth 3, right? So fisherman is basically completely just a better version of farming, because fishing level is actually remarkably important. If you have fishing 1 and you just have a spear in winter, you will actually have a 0% chance to catch a fish. 0%. So actually, I think it's like 0.00123. So one of you might be able to get lucky and catch a fish, right? And you can catch trash that gives you XP. You can eventually level it up in winter, but it's very hard. If you start with level 3 fishing, grab a spear, you're grabbing fish all day long. You're having 0 problems with fishing. You got infinite food. You can feed all your buddies. Multiplayer, even more important, because in multiplayer, you can't speed up time to fish, right? You're having to watch that character go ba 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 boom, ba 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 boom. It's awful. It's tedious. It's mind-numbing. I mean, how many people do go AFK while fishing? I literally level up carpentry so I can build a cabin in multiplayer so I can go AFK when I fish, because it's boring. But it's like, if I have level 3 fishing, it comes in a lot faster. I say this is not remotely a troll, especially for multiplayer. Obviously, the fishing speedrun uses fishing. Is anyone surprised? I also have that world record. And that one was really hard, actually. That one I almost thought I was going to lose because of some crazy alarm going off. I'm going to say below Park Ranger. Below Park Ranger for sure. But very solid one. Now we're going to be going, I'm going to take 2 of these right now and get them out of the way, because I have nothing positive to say about these. I don't think anyone wants to hear me whine about them, so I'm just going to move on. Doctor and nurse. No speedruns use them because no one does first aid speedruns, because that sounds like a living hell and none of us hate ourselves that much. I get close on some days, but not yet. The beer keeps me from hating myself too much. Doctor and nurse. Multiplayer, I guess if you want to be the doctor. It has a use, but even in multiplayer, it's very not that useful. It's really not that useful. I'm going to say no to both. I'm just going to put them right now in F tier, and I'm not really going to elaborate on it because I don't think they even deserve an elaboration. First aid is one of the most worthless skills in the entire game, and these are worthless occupations that utilize the most worthless skill. Ask yourself, when was the last time, besides role-playing purposes, that you leveled up first aid? That should be your answer, pretty much. Oh, this is veteran. I've been moving veteran around. This is Park Ranger. Sorry. This is Park Ranger. My bad. Ignore that. Maybe that'll bait someone into making a comment later. And now we go into one of my favorite, absolute favorite occupations. I stand veteran so much. I love veteran. It's probably my second favorite, maybe my second or third favorite occupation in the game. I think it is the best occupation in the game, with a caveat. Currently, this is used in almost all killing speedruns. Every single kill speedrun uses veteran except a couple. I think the sprinters one uses lumberjack because of the speed, but all other kill speedruns use veteran because the no panic is amazing. You pick up a shotgun with aiming 2, fast learner, maybe grab a hunter so you'll have aiming 3 as well, right? Okay, you will be level like 4 and 5 aiming in like 100 kills because of the XP bonuses, right? I mean, look at that. You go here, grab this and then take like hunter, right? You're getting 125 XP and then times another 25% on top of that, right? That's really good. And you're gonna get 2 aiming, 2 reloading. This is a top tier profession for literally any player. Like if you're a new player, I actually love veteran for you because you're not gonna know how to manage panic. Veteran players are a bit better at managing our panic. We know how many Zeds we can get around, right? We know how many Zeds can be near us. So we're a little bit better at knowing how to keep our character from getting overly panicked. The only downside to veteran is that you actually cannot take you cannot take agoraphobic or claustrophobic. You can't even take cowardly. That's kind of a bad thing. And some people would say that you could just take brave, and I actually do agree, especially when you're a veteran player and you're better at combat. Brave and police officer with some beta blockers can actually beat out veteran, but that's a lot more management. You got to think a lot more. With veteran, you just plug and play, right? You just go bop, 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 bop. You just blast it all day, taking out Zeds every day, right? And now we're getting to the GOAT, the actual GOAT. The true greatest one of my actual favorite, lumberjack. Boy, when you get level 10 axe with a lumberjack, you're just like machine gunning Zeds down every day. Bop, 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 bop. Every single one is literally like a half a second swing. It's stupid. It's incredibly overpowered. It's the cheesiest, most broken occupation you can ever take, and I adore it and I love it. And it is, yes, it is S tier. It is S tier. It is always S tier. It is a god option. Fitness instructor. I used to sleep on fitness instructor. Now I actually like fitness instructor. Multiplayer, speedruns, lumberjack, it's all the same. No one really uses it for anything in speedruns. We all use fire and fire officer. Fitness instructor. I don't think there's any speedruns that use this, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I've considered using it for ecstasy of gold so I could run to Louisville and faster, right? I do like this because 3 fitness is just a lot, and 2 sprinting and nutritionist. It's like, that's not bad. Now, what's sad is that nutritionist is really cool, and actually I love nutritionist for role playing in multiplayer, right? But it's 4 points, so it obviously feels really bad to grab. Well, fitness instructor does give you it, So that's kind of nice, but it does cost you 6 points. I like fitness instructor. I think it's a little slept on. I also think it's a very poor. It's minus 6 points. It's not good enough. I'm gonna put it down in C tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put it down in C tier. I don't think it's good enough. I really don't. I think that minus 6 is just too heavy. I think if it was minus 2, I think a lot more people would be taking fitness instructor, right? Think about it. If it was only minus 2, I really feel like we could justify that minus 2 a little bit more, right? With the sprinting and the fitness as well. If you play on a multiplayer server with sprinters, I honestly recommend you take this every single time. And you take it, like, maybe grab runner too. You're gonna get 3 sprinting. You're gonna immediately be shift sprinting faster than the sprinters run, which is gonna keep you alive. So that is a really important caveat. If you're playing with sprinters, even 1%, this becomes S tier automatic immediately for the movement speed increase. Burger flipper, kind of cool. You get cook with it, right? I think that's kind of neat. And it's +2. And actually, short blade is a really decent option. I actually think short blade is better than short blunt, because short blade, if you have a high enough fitness and a high enough skill level, you can basically fight a horde an entire day. They will never get close to you, and you will never run out of energy. It just uses so little endurance that you can recover that endurance while walking backwards, right? 2 cooking is met. I actually do like short blunt, and I like what's really important is that this guy knows all the recipes for cooking, which actually is it is used, I think, in one speedrun. Which one is it? I know it's used in a speedrun, but I can't think of it right now. Okay, actually, no, it's not. No, any speedrun that we use this, we would just use cook, right? So yeah, burger flipper. It's meh. It's so, right? Like, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's that good. It's more like, kind of reminds me of like repairman, except it's a little bit better than repairman, right? It's a little bit better, and that's it. I don't really value the cooking very much. I'd say it probably goes up here, right? It's better than farming. It's better than unemployed. No, it's not as good as Unemployed is better. Let's be honest here. Unemployed is better. Multiplayer, it's okay. Nothing special. Nothing weird. Okay, electrician is a very situational one. I'll be honest with you. Very situational. In general, electrical is kind of annoying to level up, even if I do know some tricks, even though I do think it's easier than people say. It is clearly still hard to level up, right? I don't think anyone here is going to argue with me that it's not probably the hardest skill to level up. Every other skill has much easier methods, right? But also, here's the problem with electrical. You know why electrical is annoying to level up? Because it's worthless. Once you can hotwire cars, who gives a shit about electrical? Oh, I can improve my generator by 2%. Electric scraps are the easiest thing in the world to find, right? Like, if you get level 3 electrical, you have an infinite amount of electrical scraps, right? Come on, we all know electrical's a waste. No one goes past 1. No one cares, unless you're role-playing, right? The only benefit of this, can operate generators. That's pretty cool. Hey, no generator mag. If you play on, like, super rare loot or multiplayer servers, generators can be a huge pain because people take the magazine and either die with them or lose them, or they troll people and destroy them, or anything else. You know, whenever you're playing with people, you can never trust it. I love to go electrician in multiplayer build 41 just for this, just so my team always has someone that can do it in a generator, right? I think it's actually really good for that. Just because it can use generators, I am going to actually put it in C tier. I don't think generators are as important as everyone does, but I do think this is something we need to start getting used to, because when we go to build 42, it's going to be very important. Generators are much more valuable in build 42. So I'm going to actually go ahead and put him below carpent. I'm going to say here. I actually think it's a little more important because carpentry has VHS. Actually, carpentry and fishing have VHS. I actually think this is probably here. I like this a little bit. I think that makes sense because I only think it's because of the generator. I do think, like, that magazine is so hard to find on multiplayer. I have to value it a little bit higher, right? Engineer. I do not value engineer whatsoever. I have no value of engineer. I think this is like a garbage profession because traps don't really work, and bombs are really bad. Simple as that. I don't have a lot of respect for this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. If you want to know some details, you can leave a comment. I'll tell you some, like, really boring technical details of why bombs and traps don't work very well. Basically, it comes down to this. When a chunk is unloaded in Zomboid, the code stops running. So if you want to make like a noisemaker, right, and you want to attract a horde away, well, you can only attract that horde away, like, I don't know, like 100 tiles, and then the trap, the noisemaker is going to stop working, and then all the zombies are going to go back to where they came from. So I imagine this. Imagine if everything worked really well. You could set up trains of noisemakers or watches all going off like 10 minutes after each other, right? And then you could have all the zombies being slowly led out of a town. That'd be amazing. And then walk them into a motion sensor bomb and they all blow up. But none of it works. None of it works, man. Even the motion sensors don't really work. Like, everything's kind of buggy with bombs. It's rough. And you're basically taking out occupation so you can create something that's not that good. So I don't like it. I have no value for this. I'm gonna have to throw this in F tier because it just doesn't do enough. It doesn't do enough, man. It's only 1 carpenter. Actually, maybe I'm being a little harsh. I'm gonna go D tier. It does have 1 electrical, which can let you hotwire really quickly. I'm not gonna be too much of an asshole. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of C tier, okay? Bottom of C tier. I don't think it's good. I'm gonna be a little nice here, okay? Yeah, bottom of C tier. I think bottom of C tier is how it has to be. I'm gonna be a little nice and put it there, okay? I'm not sure if I'm okay with Farmer being here. No, I think I'm okay. Security Guard and Finisher, they're pretty good, but they can't really compete with the beats here, in my opinion. We go back, we have Metalworking. This is actually a pretty good one. Metalworking is, actually, you might notice I've never really mentioned speedruns for a while because none of these are relevant. Yes, electrician is used for the electrical speedrun, but only one person has ever done that speedrun, and no one really wants to do it. So pretty much like these 6 have nothing to do with speedrunning, because a lot of our occupations are either all just, if you're doing farming, beat the farmer, right? It's not very interesting. Metalworking, again, metalworking speedrun. That's actually my best speedrun. I actually called the video the best Project Zomboid speedrun ever, and I still stand by those words. That is my best speedrun ever. +3 metalworking, I like this a little bit. Issue is that metalworking is remarkably easy to level up. So +3 becomes very invaluable. And also, you're saying I need -6 to get this. You're saying 3 metalworking is worth 6 points. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Give me 2 propane tanks and 2 torches and a day, and I'll have max metalworking in the Moldral pile up. And I'll have so many spare engine parts and metal and scraps that you don't even know what to do with, okay? It's not good. It's bad. It's going to go most likely F tier. I actually think it's worse than almost any other one, because everything else here, better metalworking doesn't really help you do that much, right? Making stuff with metalworking, not that useful. But I will say it's better than farming. It's better than Burger Flipper. Nah, it's better than farming. I'll put it here. I think this is okay. Mechanic. I actually value mechanic a lot more. You know, I'm not a huge fan of short blunt, right? But I don't devalue short. You know, I'm not sitting here saying short blunt's terrible. So short blunt does have a value, and it's only -4, but 3 mechanics. I like 3 mechanics. That can be a lot, because mechanics has a weird problem, especially on multiplayer. A really weird problem, and that is that you can really damage cars training mechanics, right? That's a big problem. You don't want to damage cars in multiplayer. They are, in some cases, a finite resource. So I very much value early game mechanics, so I can remove more parts without damaging the parts. Also, it knows all recipes, which is amazing, because do you know what? There's nothing more annoying than having a car, having the ability to fix the car, and not having a magazine that says how you can change a tire. I hate it. I despise the magazine system for basic car maintenance. I love that this profession has that. Maybe I'm being a bit personal here, but I'm actually going to throw mechanics up into like top of B tier. I think it's that good. I really do. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed the tier list. It's definitely very bottom heavy, but I'm not surprised it's bottom heavy. I figured it would be bottom heavy, because the truth is a lot of these are really bad. I mean, most of these at the bottom, you could pretty much move all of these around, and I'm not really going to sit here and argue with you too much, right? Like this is all personal opinion at a certain point. Basically, here's how you can separate it. All of these are super good, and I think most people agree. All of these are pretty bad, but maybe have a couple niche use cases for speedruns and such things, and certain role playing and certain multiplayer settings like sprinters, right? And these are pretty good. You're not really trolling if you take them, but they're not great, right? And I think it's because honestly, Build 42 fixes a lot of this. I've been doing a lot of Build 42 research lately. It really fixes a lot of this issue, where I honestly think like 3/4 of all occupations are basically you should never take. Like, they're all garbage. They're really, really bad. The occupations have been misbalanced for a very, very long time. And actually, I'm going to say a positive thing about Build 42. I think they've done a much, much, much better job at balancing the occupations, where I actually think occupation choice is something you really need to think about now in Build 42. There is not always a right answer now, which is a very welcome change, a very welcome change. Anyways, I do hope you enjoy this. I think honestly, this will be the last Build 41 tier list. Build 42 is quickly going to be coming out, and I'm going to be basically switching all of my focus to Build 42 in the future. So I might take me a little bit to get another video out, because I'm gonna have to really research Build 42. But anyways, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. I hope you did. I have a lot of fun doing the tier list. I'll be a little sad if this is my last one, but I don't have any other good ideas for anymore. If there's anything you want to see or any videos you want to make, leave a comment. Appreciate you. Big love. Bring her out. Have a good one.